Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday morning. It is August 12th at 11:50 a.m. I am just a little, well, obviously I'm late. It's sometime in the 11 o'clock hour, which if I say sometime in the 11 o'clock hour, it means I'm not late at all. I'm right on time because I'm still within the 11 o'clock hour. Um, Mondays with Robin. I'm late today because I was participating in a phone bank for talking to folks either about volunteering or in some way supporting a Democratic ticket. And this is not political. I'm not proselytizing, I promise. But I have some deeply held. Never in my whole life have I wanted to participate in um, any kind of campaigner. Well, I've wanted to, but I've never done it. I've never been called to. And I was called to this time because I got a pretty clear message from my guides on the Lionsgate last week that that's what I was my next step. And so I did. I go when I'm called. I make it a point to listen when my guides tell me there's something I need to do. So I did, and it was fucking delightful. Like, I had such amazing conversations with people. And some of them were receptive and some of them were not, but it was all um just I really enjoyed having conversations with people, and sometimes even people who don't agree with me. I so feel that if we can have meaningful dialogue, engage with curiosity, that we see that our positions aren't so far apart, actually. And I think that I know that this whole us versus them thing is what's creating the divide. Like, there's no divide. In fact, when I did the channel reading for my membership site, once a month I do a channeled reading from the Council of Light. uh it was very interesting this week, this month. For the first time ever, they talked through me, not to me. Normally what happens is the guides talk to me and I'm interpreting it. Yeah, but what happened this time was they told a story and they talked through me. And I had to go back and listen to it because obviously I wasn't able to like pay attention to it as they were talking through me. So I went back and I listened to it, and it was really fascinating. um and they were talking about love and fear are the flip sides of the same energy, and hope and sadness, or no, joy and sadness were flip sides of the same energy, and they were all four of these energies were siblings, for lack of a better word. And there was, all four of them needed to exist, and that for the first time in the history of the cosmos ever, this planet, humanity, has cultivated all four successfully. And that was actually kind of the experiment. We need love and we need fear. We we need sadness and joy. We need all of it. I mean, fear less so, but fear has it had a role. It was necessary. And the fact that we succeeded, we cultivated all four and have managed to succeed in this world. It does feel scary. But I mean, and again, not politically, but like both, like, I don't care what your political stance is. It feels like the other side is this big scary boogeyman. And with deeply held conviction around that. And if we could understand that what we all really long for is to be seen, to be loved, to be respected. I think this is not a both sidesism. I'm not minimizing anybody's position either. What I'm saying is that if there's something out there in air quotes, that triggers us, It is our job, the conversation is about what in me still has fear about this thing, and how can I find love and compassion and honesty around it. Nothing happens outside of your energy field. Nothing happens outside of your energy field. And so if you're triggered, if you're upset, if you're frustrated, if you're angry, if you're hurt, if you're, I don't care what it is, and you want to, let's say, they did this. It's their fault. It's this person. It's this energy. They don't have the right to do this. The automatic invitation in that is to say, well, what in me is so bothered by this? How can I make peace within myself around it? And if you can do that, if you can find compassion, if you can find love, if you can find affection, and it may be that it's a trauma response. It may be that it is something that has been your lived experience. It may be really powerful things that have happened. And again, I'm not dismissing or minimizing in any way anyone's trauma or lived experience. What I'm saying is everything that's happened has in some way moved you forward, helped you become the person that you are. You may not like it. You may not, it wouldn't be what you chose. You may not respect the perpetrator. None of that has, none of that is, none of that, all of that is okay. All of that is true. And also, it changed you in some way. There's a before and an after. And if you could get to neutral or curious about, well, how did it change? How was it for me? We can begin to let go of some of the pain of the trauma. It doesn't mean that the trauma never happened. It doesn't mean that there's always a part of you that will maybe grieve or feel sad or whatever. I have a friend of mine who lost her daughter, and she's never not going to grieve her daughter. Like, it's all like, there's a big hole where her daughter should be. And every year, like on her birthday and in milestone events, she posts these incredibly moving tributes, right? Like she said, it never doesn't hurt, but yet she's learned how to live with it, and she's learned how to thrive. Maybe because that happened. Maybe that was the point, that if her daughter hadn't passed, would she have done the work that she's done? Who knows, right? You don't know what your life would be like without this event. And I'm teaching a class right now where we're using a lot of Byron Katie work, and Byron Katie work is like, the only time we suffer is when we believe our thoughts. It's our thoughts around the thing happened. It is. If we say it should never have happened, now we're creating trauma on top of trauma. And so, can we go back to the person who was helpless and powerless and lost? Yes. Can we give her love and compassion and affection? Yes. But can we also find it in ourselves to let go of the hurt around it? We don't have to carry that anymore. And that was one of the things that came out of the channel reading, was that any time it was challenging, it was an opportunity for growth. That life is only ever an opportunity for joy or an opportunity for growth. That's it. That's all there is. And again, joy and sadness, we don't know joy without sadness. We don't know love without fear, actually. It's the duality. This world is a dual place. It's the nature of humanity. The nature of this world is to be that dual energy. And the whole point of us being alive right now is to lean in to all of the experiences, the pain and the happiness, the joy and the sadness, the fear and the love. Can we lean into all of it, knowing that it all came from source? It all came from divine. And whether you believe in God or it's, this is not me saying, God has a plan. This is not me saying everything happens for a reason without, like, I'm not bypassing the experience. Like, we need to feel the feelings. We need to be in the emotional experience of it. Never for a second think that you can just bypass it with love, light, live, laugh, love, or whatever, right? That is McDonald's spirituality, and that really has no place in consciousness. But, like, can you step aside for a moment and see that person that you hate with every fiber of your being? Uh, Again, if we talk politically, anybody on the other side of the aisle, I don't care which aisle it is. Can we stop for a minute and ask ourselves, what about that person or that group or that organization or their belief system is so against me? And how can I find compassion within myself? How can I let go of the fear in order to be in a neutral space? I have some dear friends who were, tribe when I went to school, classmates in we've done some deep, 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 deep spiritual work together. And their beliefs are, I don't want to even say antithetical to me, but they're certainly of a different political party. And yet I can have amazing conversations with them where we can see each other's point of view and respect where the other is coming from. And I can tell you from having those conversations with these women who I love dearly, I have a different perspective of what they are trying to do. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I'm not saying my side's better, their side's better. I'm saying there is no other. There's no that us versus them. There are some there's some deep flaws in both sides. I mean, some deep flaws in both sides. And what we believe, when we believe our thoughts, we create suffering. We can argue with reality all we want to. We will lose 100% of the time. Can we come together embracing love and fear, embracing hope, joy, and sadness, embracing pain and happiness? Can we find the places in us where we are human, first and foremost? Sometimes it happens that we dehumanize each other. And that's where we get into hatred and racism and bigotry and it's all rage. It's all fear-based. It is all fear-based. And fear is the first chakra. We it's like the all of these things only exist at the first chakra. Race, gender, sexual orientation, preference, or anything that we fight about, it is literally only a first chakra issue. We live in a first chakra world. Totally true. It's totally true that we live in a first chakra world. And some of the things have real and lasting consequences. And also, it's still one fraction of our entire energetic system. So if we let fear shut down our first chakra, we do not have access to second chakra, which is which is joy and passion and emotion and creativity. We don't have access to our third chakra, which is fire and choice and action and self-esteem. We do not even have access really to our hearts in love and compassion. Forget about the upper chakras. They're offline to us. Ideas, beliefs, connection to something bigger than we are, creation of truth. It's all shut down from fear. Similarly, if we have things shut down, like we shut our hearts down, we don't have access to wisdom and creation. We don't have access to the things that will help open the first chakra to belonging and safety, and I belong here. We're born, we're here, we're physically here on this time, in this moment, so that we can choose to both, yes, acknowledge and lean into fear, but like stop letting it run us. Belonging, safety, the right to be. That's the first chakra. If we can get past the fear, we have access to a whole blueprint of energy. All the chakra system is a blueprint for consciousness. And what they told me in the challenge reading was, we've already been, like, I don't want to say forgiven, any anything, any mistakes, any missteps, any opportunities that we've experienced over our lifetimes. We've already we've already been absolved of it. We've already been absolved of the things that are still coming that we've yet to do. We get to have a totally clean slate. And if we have a totally clean slate, and knowing that we belong, that we have the right to feel and experience pleasure, that we have a right to take action, that we have a right to love and be loved, that we have a right to speak a truth, that we have a right to know and to see, and a right to understand. These are our fundamental rights as a human soul being in a human body. If we came from that place, it gets really, really, really easy to understand that we all belong. And we all have a role, and we all have the right to be here. That's the divine feminine just is. It just allows, it just receives, it just connects with everyone. That's what we're being asked to do right now. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the results of any election. It has to do with, in this moment, right now, can we choose to believe that we have a right to be here and that everybody else has a right to be here? If we can do that, then we can get into creativity, passion, joy. So I invite you all today, just for today, what can you do to come into your heart and your place and your center and trust? First chakra is a trust. Fourth chakra is also a trust. But can we trust that there is something bigger than we are, and we are just tiny cogs in the wheel of it? Can we just get to a neutral place just for today? The Reiki principles, just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will have gratitude. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. And just for today, I will have love and compassion for all living things. Like, can we just for today live those principles? Starting with ourselves and allowing it to spread out. We're in this great upheaval transition. What the council told me is that we're already there. The decision's already made. And in fact, this kind of gave me pause. The council was like basically saying, you don't need us anymore. And I was like, what do I was my attachment to that council. They were like, no, you don't need us anymore. I know they're still going to be there, or maybe there's a newer council coming in, but like I even had to let go of the safety of that council of light that I've been channeling for, I don't know, decades. So it's like we're in a transition. It does feel scary. It does feel upheaval, but our job is to breathe into it and love and trust and openness and curiosity and commitment to, I want to be the change I see in the world. This was long and I apologize for that, but I hope you found it worthwhile and useful. I have a group healing on the 21st. I have a group healing on August 21st. I will drop a link below to connect with that because of what came up around this transition and love and hope and love and joy and fear and sadness. I expect we will be doing some sort of, the last healing we did, we connected our first chakra with our fourth chakra, but what's been up recently is the second chakra and the fifth chakra. So I expect we'll be doing something around creation, joy. I expect we'll be doing something with second chakra and fifth chakra. I don't know that for certain, but that's what I think. So August 21st will be that. And I have a chakras class, a chakra like workshop coming up in September, and then we are revamping the chakras of consciousness class, where I think I'm going to be doing it something like an applied chakras class, like really understanding how to live through your chakras as the blueprint for a spirituality. So stay tuned for that. That will start in October. And as always, you can reach out to me, touch base. I do have a couple of spaces open right now for one-on-one clients, and I would love to have a conversation with you. Otherwise, please like it, please share it, please comment, please tell your friends. Let's please do this work together because we simply cannot do it alone. And we're just being asked at this moment to come together in new and different and creative ways. I love you all. Great big hugs. Happy Monday.